太大声。完了，我忘记谁是。但我这边我想起来了，我问到最后，我好像失去意识，就是我已经不知道我在想什么事情了，我已经不知道我在干嘛了。
Charming, isn't it? Yes. Built by the Remington family originally. Dear Flora's father and his associates.
But now it's owned by you? By the Fellow family?
The Fellows and the Pointers have both come to claim a certain degree of ownership.
明明只有早安，
And who named
那你
Tangle
面试
Tower?
怎么样？
Flora chose the name.
What does it mean?
I think it was her intention that it mean nothing at all. Something of a fresh start.
From what?
This really isn't for me to say.
他和他
She
的
has some
兄弟
kind of
姐妹们有一些争
disagreement
执。
with her siblings. After they moved away, Flora changed the name of the house. I think perhaps she hoped it would make them feel unwelcome, is less likely to come back.
That's kind of extreme.
Yes, it is rather, isn't it?
下回我感觉吧，那 view 感觉蛮顺的。OK， 恭喜你录取。
What's this?
It's my case file. It's how I know what I'm supposed to be doing.
You mean to say you're bound by the limits of what's written in this little document? Sounds dreadful.
I found it comforting.
损坏的卡带
That looks like it might belong to Poppy.
，Poppy。这 Poppy 的卡带，一个人在哼歌。
Rather ugly, isn't it, as far as statues go? Years of wind and rain have
对，我还没
not
解
been
这个
kind to it either.
Do you know what it is? The creature, I mean.
It's connected to the Remington family history in some way, but I can't recall. I'm as confused as you are.
我已经忘记打开的信是啥小，打开的信是什么？哦，密码，我想起来了，大门有一封信的密码，对。那就上次上过，可以啊，可以啊，趁现在赶快报警。
It would have been a
报警大腿飞上
beautiful
去。
painting. It's rather a shame Freya was unable to finish it.
Nothing about it seems strange to you.
Well, all these modern paintings are slightly strange, aren't they? The emotion of the piece taking over from, say, anatomical accuracy.
What about the knife in Flora's hand?
感谢窝虫，早安，好久不见。
You don't?
As I was saying, Freya's artistic approach distorts
最近还好吗？
certain shapes. Hard to say exactly what we're looking at. Flora's quite fond of that old thing. It's in poor shape, though.
Do you know what happened to it?
Can't say I do. But that looks like it might belong
怎么又是
to
Poppy 的？
Does Flora normally keep something in here?
She must do, but I admit I've never managed to work out what.
Why not just ask her?
Sorry to bother you. I want to further protection from your channel viewers. Okay, bye bye.
It's because they don't want to be asked about it.
Rules to live by.
It's unlike her to leave paint on the brush.
I think we'll give her a pass, given the circumstances.
Ah, yes. So we shall.
Ryan，
Looks like Freya's paints.
Do you know why the pots are cracked down one side?
或者他的东西
Very odd.
就是在那个房间里面的东西，每一个东西都有裂开啊。
You seem pretty sure about that.
该不会是有人从那个阁楼直接放出一把大镰刀，直接往下砍？
Ah, you found it. What do you think, huh? I had to rush the final touches a little bit. It turned out all right, though.
What's it supposed to be?
It's Flora, of course, surrounded by all her favorite people. I've been carving for a couple of years now. I was hopeless when I started, but it didn't take me long to master it, as you can see.
Do you paint them yourself too?
I do indeed, yes. Freya kindly taught me the basics. Nowadays, I can make just about anything I can imagine. Of course, this particular model is a self-portrait based on hard fact.
Hard fact, huh? So, you own a sword, Felix?
Oh,
Of course, I own a great many. But my weapons are stored well away from Tangle Tower. Safety first and all that. That looks like it might belong to Fitz. Bizarre things, aren't they? Penelope seems rather attached to them.
Do you not feel sorry for them in that little cage?
Come now, I'm sure they could leave if they really wanted to. Freya was quite the talent. She had a way of capturing the spirits of her
捕捉
subjects.
对象的灵魂。
Not in an evil way, in a good way. That's one of Freya's paintings, is it not? It's
他们
impressive,
是英国游戏啊，
but
这
a
个配
little
音很像英国
miserable
腔，
for my tastes.
又会在一些很奇怪的地方用力。
My daughter Fiona and her best friend. They grow up so fast.
Do you know why it's ripped like that?
Ah, yes. I didn't even notice. No idea. Oh dear.
Do you know who this is?
Not a clue.
嗯，这不是 Poppy 啊？
Where did you find that?
It was in the library.
Really? How odd. What's this all about? Some kind of rare jewel?
I'm pretty sure the research is about a real insect.
If it's made of gold, then it's made of gold. Why would someone lock up a book like that?
We think it's a secret diary.
Aha! Teenagers are funny, aren't they?
这是一个很无聊的老爸哎。
What is it?
We don't know. We were really hoping you would.
My friends, shed your hope and let it fall free like sandbags from a hot air balloon.
That's the most depressing idiom I've ever heard.
Why don't you ask Fiona about that one? Looks like her area of expertise. That looks like it might belong to Fitz. I've never seen that before. Looks valuable. Now this is still in very good condition. Apart from the crack, of course.
What about those shards on the inside of the horn?
Looks like somebody broke a glass and was trying to conceal the evidence. Cunning. I've never been one for music. Why not ask Poppy instead? Is that a clue? Really?
It might be. The statue was up in the rooftop garden.
Yes, it's been there a while. You can see the brass is slightly tarnished by the elements. But it's not too bad. Might be salvageable. Goodness me!
好像没有哎，都问完了。
Name, Flora Fellow. Age, 44. Profession, unknown. Likes, unknown. Dislikes, unknown.
Isn't she your mother? How do you not know anything?
I believe other people may have discovered methods of reaching her, but I have little capacity for interpreting nonverbal communication.
And how long has Flora been non-verbal?
She has always been quiet, willing to speak when necessary, but not more.
So what happened to make her stop talking entirely?
She suffered a great loss, something she has been unable to move beyond. Name, Felix Fellow. Age, 53. Profession, none. Likes, collecting objects of
收集金钱价值低廉的
and
物
assigning
品。
them personal value. Dislikes, the inescapable realities of human existence. Notes, Felix is my father and legal guardian.
And, is he a good dad?
I have no point of comparison, but I would say no.
No? Why not?
You asked me a binary question. Do not get upset that I provided one of the two possible answers.
What makes him a bad father, Fifi?
He has trouble expressing his emotions, and something of a willful detachment from reality.
Huh. Just like you, then.
Grimoire.
No, he is quite correct. Name, Fiona Fellow. Age, 19. Profession, amateur microbiologist.
业余微
Likes,
生物学家
the meaningful archiving of information. Dislikes, the superfluous window dressing accompanying the majority of human contact. Notes, kindly disregard the polysyllabic form of my given forename and refer to me instead as Fifi.
How come you prefer Fifi?
How come you prefer Grimoire?
How are you related to the other fellows?
Fitz is my cousin. His father, a man named Flint, was my uncle.
Was?
I do not know if Flint is alive or not. He left Tangle Tower a long time ago.
And what about Freya? How are you related to her?
We share exactly one grandparent. Name, Hawkshaw. Age, unknown. Profession, private detective. Likes, quote, being left alone. Dislikes, quote, being constantly badgered by a weirdo nerd with a clipboard. Name, Freya Fellow. Age, 19. Profession, artist. Deceased.
没了。
Understand this. Most people find me difficult. They exhibit a noticeable degree of discomfort when talking to me. There it is. Freya, who had a way of being an exception to any given rule, was not at all like this. She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Did you spend a lot of time with Freya recently?
I will say this. In the past year, Freya became, 1, increasingly independent, and 2, increasingly isolated.
Do you know why?
I do not. If you are looking for a speculative, empathetic opinion, try asking Poppy instead.
The three of you are friends.
We are of a similar age, and all highly gifted. 1 scientist, 1 artist, and 1 musician.
Sounds like quite a team.
应该很酷诶。
Name, Fitzfellow. Age, 24. Profession, cryptobotanist. Likes soil, dislikes electric lights.
Hang on. Cryptobotanist? I thought he was just a gardener.
That may well be his preferred label. Mine, however, is more accurate.
Do you and Fitz not see eye to eye, Fifi?
We do not.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. He's well over 60 and I thought to be just barely 5.
So what's your problem with him?
Exactly 1 week ago, I witnessed him sneaking up Pointer Tower. He was making every effort to avoid
看
detection.
180公分，知道怎么不引起别
He
人
was
注意
also carrying a knife. Name, Poppy Pointer. Age, 19. Profession, Apparently Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had of course originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come. Name, Penelope Pointer.
鸟类学家
Age, 27. Profession, ornithologist. likes, birds, dislikes, insects, notes. Penelope is very beautiful.
妖蛋系早安，谢谢你35个月续订。
姐妹们，请你们可怜可怜我。
Name, Percival Pointer. Age, 57. Profession, none.
I'm pretty sure he's an astronomer.
业余
Oh
天文
yes,
学
of
家。
course. How uncharacteristically forgetful of me.
这些是不是有一些比较
It is a flower. It reminds me of something, but I cannot say what. Who is this her to whom the message refers?
Well, I don't know exactly.
Then how can I meaningfully evaluate this object?
我讲蛮有道理的？
I am scared of birds.
Why?
It is an irrational fear. I have no suitable explanation.
Oh. What's wrong?
Earmuffs do not go on statues. What a mess. Penelope should tidy up after herself.
These weren't dropped by Penny. They were dropped by birds, I think.
My argument stands.
Who is that in the photo?
I'm quite sure that I have no idea.
这个人怎么大家都没有什么，大家都不敢讲他是谁？
An item from Poppy's childhood. Her earliest piano lessons hold some special significance for her.
Why's that?
No idea. She has never graced me with the details, and I am not forthcoming enough to ask.
You two are friends, right?
We are, yes.
But
It is clear to me now that Poppy has become tired of my company.
is it anything to do with Freya?
Oh, no. The changes in Poppy's mood have nothing to do with Freya. Her concerns simply lie elsewhere. Why did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it was Poppy?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be? That blade.
It's a troll for gardening.
It is. The fruit here has a unique chemical makeup. It makes them completely pointless. Unless you wish to cut it down and sell it as a precious stone.
It's not edible.
Depends.
On what?
On the structural integrity of your teeth.
看这很像是我们论文会写的，什么结构之完整性。
This belongs to Professor Pointer, does it not?
No, I don't think so.
Who else would own such a pointless little telescope?
It's a telescope.
Oh, yes. It has a telescopic lens. It could only be used for looking at things that are far away.
Is this yours, Fifi?
I do not recognize it. And besides, I would have no use for such a thing. Perhaps it could be used to hang wet laundry?
Was that a joke?
Yes. Now this is interesting. Where did you find it?
In the astronomy tower.
And yet, it does not concern the field of astronomy.
Nope.
In fact, you could even say that entomology is the exact opposite of
天
astronomy.
文学是往外看，
Yeah.
然后
You could.
昆虫是
I
往
would
小
not
地方
say that,
看。
however.
Oh.
亲爱的
感谢林奈37
No,
个月
it
续订。
would be quite
姐妹
naive.
们，
To study
请你们
science
可
in
怜
any
可怜
field
我。
is to study the connections
Done.
between all matter in the universe, living or inanimate.
是谁的日记啊？
My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
Do you know who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother has not been in the library for some time. This photograph is my favorite photograph.
So, why'd you rip it in half?
That was not me. Besides, it was not a half that was ripped off. It was only a third. I believe Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Any idea what it was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is a blood-red mountain with angry storm clouds brewing above it. As such, I cannot ascertain any meaning from it whatsoever. What is your opinion of Tangle Tower?
Oh, it's impressive. Elaborate gardens, unique architecture.
Must be worth a fortune.
Why do you ask, Fifi?
I am the heir of the Fellow family and the Remington family. This makes me the sole beneficiary of Tangle Tower.
That's quite an inheritance.
They can't make you do anything, Fifi. If you don't want the house, just tell them. Or just sell it. Who cares?
You sound like her.
哎呦，谁？完了。
There is a drawing of me, a drawing of Detective Hawkshaw, and a drawing of Poppy and Fitz.
对啊，我就是因为这张画才觉得是 Poppy 跟 Fitz 有关系。
There's something about the image of Flora in the painting. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
就是这个啊，然后可是他跟我说 Fitz 跟那个鸟的女生订婚，蛮微妙的。
I require facts. What do you know?
Well, we know Freya was stabbed with a knife, and then she fell.
Correction. She was stabbed with something. There was no knife found at the crime scene,
Apart from the one in the painting.
which as a mere abstract
这一头是工作就
representation
能
does
完
not
成，
count.
顺啊，
Nobody has ever been
麻
stabbed
醉
by
就
the concept
7秒
of a
钟
knife.
吧，手术开一开，
This
3
belongs
分
to
钟，
Poppy. In fact, she
再花2
owns a
分钟推出
number
去。
of cassette tapes.
What happened to it then?
It has been left underwater for
Oh,
an
shit.
extended period of time.
Right, but why?
I do not know why.
Is she laughing?
这一张跟这一张的反应是一样的。
The gramophone belongs to Poppy, but I believe she gave it to my mother, and my mother often loaned it to Freya. Or maybe it is the other way around.
When did it get cracked?
I cannot pinpoint it exactly. All I know is that it must have happened sometime in the last 2 days. Freya is normally highly skilled at capturing someone's likeness, but in this painting, she has accidentally made Flora look quite young.
I think she was just being kind.
Why is that kind? Anyway, I'm far more interested in what Flora is holding. I performed the test on the red paint myself. I discovered that it was in fact not paint, but blood.
What made you want to test it in the first place?
It was Poppy. She told me she thought the painting looked like a bloody knife. I told her not to be ridiculous. My mother owns no such knife. But then I noticed that the color was slightly too dark, and the substance itself was overly viscous.
You noticed that just from looking at it once?
Of course. A wooden carving of my father, made by my father. Although, now that I look at it, I do not understand how he was able to paint the red parts without any red paint.
然后这个红
It
色
is
是
a
那
model
个
of
血，
Freya, made by my father.
A model of Flora, you mean?
And a man with a beard. And a little red and white creature.
Why would my father make a model of Freya?
弗雷亚是这个人是不是？
Fifi, did you test the red paint in this pot?
Yes, I did. I discovered it too was blood, not paint.
A whole pot full of blood?
Not a whole pot. It is only partially full.
Yeah, but still. Doesn't that freak you out?
No. In fact, it may be considered rather reassuring.
不懂他的意思，这样的话就不是现场的人的血。
Curious. The statue itself does not interest me, but I do wish to know about those symbols on the harp. Have you deciphered their meaning yet?
We're working on it.
We are.
That belongs to my mother. I think she must be fond of eggs. There are a number of egg-shaped carvings to be found in the garden and in the Grand Hall.
Yeah, what's the deal with all the eggs?
Some people just like eggs. The red paint on the brush is not paint. It is blood. Same for the palette.
So Freya added the blood to the painting herself?
Or blood got on the brush and palette some other way?
I do not know the answer.
There's something about Felix's painting supplies. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
Quite the stoic
Got
statue,
guys,
isn't
again.
she? I can
Okay.
only dream of being as cold and indifferent as Flora Fellow.
You think she's hiding something?
Perhaps. She has some strange habits. I heard she barely sleeps, an hour here or there, sporadically. Spends the rest of her time staring up at
挨
the
一下
sky.
去好了。可是我们这个偏无聊哎，这就是在解那个，
Did you get anything useful
现在
out
就
of
在
it?
看到底他到底发生什么事情。
What about you?
Nothing worth
然后我们现在
committing to
问每
paper.
个人跟每个
I
人的
think
关
he
系
knows
是什
more
么。
than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious.
然后这个人是侦探，
Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition, no focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely. 314 cases solved. 314. Freya Fellow is of great interest to me. I perceived her to be the most intelligent individual here at Tangle Tower. Within a day, she had identified for whom I was working and for what I was searching. I didn't know how she did it. I was impressed. I regret that I did not question her more thoroughly when I had the opportunity.
You couldn't have known she was about to be killed, though.
I have only myself to blame for failing to perceive the signs.
What signs?
I do not wish to do your job for you, detective.
靠北。
I'll say this, he's well suited to physical labor.
That's a nice way to put it.
Fitz spends most of his time alone in the greenhouse, but I heard he's been breeding experimental flowers in secret.
Whoa, scandal.
I just wonder if he's getting restless. Poppy has remarkable musical talent. She could be famous, wealthy even, if she wanted to.
She'd probably have to leave Tangle Tower first.
Quite. I find her rather embarrassing, little more than a spoilt child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just
27
makes it worse.
他27岁而已哦。
Professor Pointer's a respectable astronomer. Keeps himself to himself. What?
We're just surprised.
That was the most polite you've been about anyone.
And you consider that important evidence, do you? These people really are ridiculous, aren't
弄
they?
成早，今天要开台吗？
3 birds, 1 cage. What makes them worth keeping cooped up, I wonder? Would they not be happier flying free?
But then they might fly away from Tangle Tower entirely.
I wonder if
晚
they
点
would.
，OK。
One of 3
刚睡醒
statues
今
depicting
天
the
睡太
same
饱了吧？
creature. This one is wearing
戴着耳机。
headphones. Perhaps they belong to someone who likes music.
They're not headphones. They're earmuffs. For blocking out sound.
没事。哇，
Perhaps they belong to someone who
你不是做噩
doesn't
梦
like
啊？
music. Do you also have a pile of leaves as well?
Oh,
一
not
堆羽毛
yet.
跟树叶。
Did you see some suspicious leaves?
Who's that?
Not sure. It doesn't really look like anyone we've met so far.
Strange. Is that a clue?
Dunno. It was important enough to be framed, though.
I framed my law degree, doesn't make it a clue.
Same. Yeah?
A book from the library. One of hundreds, no doubt. What makes this one special?
It's about birds.
Yes.
肯定是没有哦，算了，不要乱讲话好了。肯定是要多找一个抱枕睡啊。
Some breed of amphibious humanoid, potentially bipedal, although none of the statues show the creature's feet.
I guess we'll never know.
嗯，
This is
证
a
据到底是什
potential
么？
murder weapon, is it not?
I don't know. I don't think the murderer would leave the murder weapon just lying around.
I think you'd be surprised as to what people leave lying around. The people here are surprisingly materialistic, considering how sheltered they are.
Materialistic?
Growing this fruit simply because it produces a gemstone-like material. For what possible purpose, other than financial gain?
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stone straight from the
重
earth?
烂。
This belongs to you, Hawkshaw?
Correct.
And, what is it?
It's my handheld microscope for up-close investigation work.
What do you magnify with it?
Trace particles, dust, oils, clothing fibers.
Have you used it here at Tangle Tower?
I have. I used it to examine the greenhouse only 2 days ago.
What were you looking for?
That is between myself and my client.
那客户到底是谁啊？
What is that?
I'm not sure. It looks like it attaches to something else.
Why don't you go back and double-check the area you found it? Maybe you'll find the rest of the something else.
I'm not so sure about that.
Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it.
I have several theories, but they are my theories, and I'm not going to share them. A diary. Have you read it?
Not yet. It's locked.
And you haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating.
A photograph of Freya. Could be important. I admit, it's powerful. Freya was a talented young woman.
Someone even liked it enough to take a photo of it.
Now, we don't know why they took the photograph, do we? Perhaps they just wanted it for reference.
When did Freya draw the picture of you, Hawkshaw?
I didn't model for her, if that's what you're asking. She must have done it without my permission.
Could just be from memory. It's not quite as detailed as the others anyway.
I'd tell him not to quit his day job. But he hasn't got one, has he? These figurines remind me of a case I once solved involving a possessed doll. Turned out to be a bit of a smokescreen, as these things often do.
Your life sounds fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
Paints?
Yep.
Paints.
Mm-hmm.
The paint is still wet.
Yeah, well, we know Freya was in the middle of painting when she was killed.
Do you know that? How? Because you were told? You got it open. I'm impressed. I managed it myself yesterday. I thought Flora might be hiding something in there.
It was empty yesterday, too.
It was. Perhaps it's always been empty. I believe that was in Flora's room yesterday, but it was not cracked when I saw it last. A somewhat cumbersome device, and an altogether inefficient way to listen to music.
What kind of music do you like, Hawkshaw?
I like anything.
What a cop-out.
Makes quite an impression, doesn't it? Although I can't imagine why she painted Flora wielding a knife.
他说你拿的
You
不是
didn't see a
刀
knife anywhere in
他说你拿的是
Flora's
铲
room,
子
did。you?
I did not. I conclude whatever stabbed Freya must have been brought into the room from outside. Unless, of course, it was the painting itself.
Surely you don't believe in that kind of thing.
A detective's job is to examine every avenue of thinking. Tangle Tower. No idea why they insist on calling it that. It's not even a tower. It's little more than a pair of turrets stuck on either side of a mansion.
Have you searched the whole place?
I believe so. Why?
He wants to know if you found any secret rooms.
Huh. I'm afraid the residents of Tangle Tower are far too ordinary for anything like that. I was disappointed too.
哦，快看完
You
了。
truly consider this a case file?
What's wrong with it?
No organization, no system.
That's my style. I like seeing everything laid out at once. Yeah, it helps me think.
How quaint. Where'd you dig that up?
It wasn't buried, it was underwater.
Someone trying to conceal evidence, perhaps? Have you deciphered the meaning of those 4 symbols on the harp?
We're working on it.
That's a no, then. Conveniently left anonymous. It's useless until you can prove to whom it concerns. Can you do that?
No.
No.
好，问完了，去温室一趟。
Looks like it might be. Grimoire, you go first.
1、2、3、4、5、6，但还有4个哦。
I like Flora. I hope she's all right.
Do you think she had anything to do with the murder?
There's no way. She wouldn't willingly cause any additional suffering for anyone. Felix is a contradiction. His loyalties are placed firmly within the realm of materialism,
这个
money, property. But his ego relies on an
这游戏
entirely
只讲唯物
fraudulent
主义。
self-image, don't you think?
I was just about to say the same thing.
Fifi doesn't like me.
What did you do?
I'm not sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know. She questioned me,
About what?
my work, the plants, bit of
Asha.
everything.
Did she search the greenhouse?
No, she didn't.
You sure? Maybe she did it when you weren't in there.
No, she hasn't touched it.
How can you tell?
Trust me, I can tell. She was always kind to me. She'd come into the greenhouse when I was working, sometimes by herself, sometimes with Poppy. I think they were just bored at first. Eventually, they started asking questions.
About what?
Poppy wanted to learn about flowers. Freya, she used to ask me about the insects.
Used to.
Insects.
One of my jobs is to protect plants from things that might eat them. Freya brought me this little glass box, leaves and twigs inside. She'd say, put all the troublemakers in there. Every day I'd put a handful of beetles and other things in the box. Then she'd come along and take it away. I didn't really understand her, but she was always kind.
该不会是因为甲虫可以做成颜料吧？
Have you met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
花早安。
That's me.
Yeah, that's. It was a joke. I was joking.
Oh, I see.
这么尴尬的对话。
I imagine you don't visit the astronomy tower too often, do you?
No, but I still see Pointer, sometimes. He's always curious about what I'm growing in the greenhouse. Asks me about the birds, too, and insects. He's pretty clued up on his evolutionary biology.
I didn't think there was much overlap between astronomy and biology.
Penelope is my fiancée.
Don't take this the wrong way, but Penny doesn't really strike me as your type.
She's not who she pretends to be. People think she's... well, they make assumptions.
And how's the relationship doing? Recently.
Good. It's good. Poppy and I are friends.
Oh, I can buy that. Dark clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants. Unusual flowers, mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Is something wrong?
是不是情杀啊？
Fitz, one of these drawings in the rooftop garden, I think? With Poppy.
Mm-hmm. Are we done?
没有哎。
A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to. Those petals, they,
What?
they're red. Penelope's 3 favorite birds. She's very protective over them.
Are they like her pets? Do they have names?
Oh, they have names. Penelope loves to name things.
Do you remember what she named them?
I do not.
We found these up in the rooftop garden. Do you know how long they've been there?
No, it could have been a long time. We don't ever really clear up the rooftop garden.
Why not?
Nature is unruly. In truth, it prefers to be left alone. Wait, those are mine, the earmuffs.
照是
They
他的
went missing about a week ago.
What do you need earmuffs for?
I use them for gardening sometimes.
Why? You don't own a chainsaw, do you?
No. I wear them while I'm gardening, and it stops people from trying to talk to me.
That's genius.
Any idea who this is?
No idea.
每个人都
Poppy's
避而不
piano
谈。
music. I remember when she started learning. She's improved a lot since then.
Yeah, that's generally how it works.
Right. Of course. What's with the broken glass?
This is yours, Fitz?
Yeah.
Do you use it?
I keep all my tools in the greenhouse.
That wasn't what she asked.
讲
It's Fifi and Freya.
Don't you think Poppy should be in the photo too?
Maybe, maybe not. She doesn't really like crowds.
2 people isn't a crowd.
Right, but if she was in the photo, then it'd be 3.
Checkmate.
This is a good example of how things work. I mix that soil here in the greenhouse. It's made with water from the lake.
And it makes the fruit grow all shiny and gem-stony.
Sometimes. You never really know what's going to happen.
And what do you do with this shiny and edible fruit?
You look at it.
You ever seen this before, Fitz?
No, but I don't normally go into Fifi's room.
That's not where we found it.
Oh, I just thought it looks like it belongs to her. Nice painting. Gives you a pretty good idea of the layout.
The lake looks like it forms a perfect circle around the island.
It might seem strange to you, but nature is quite capable of producing perfectly geometric forms.
And those mountain cliff things around the outside?
We don't know much about them. They're unscalable. Not even Freya could have gone up there.
What's that?
This painting, it's speculative. There are no photographs from this angle as far as I know.
So Freya just made it up.
Let's call it an informed estimation.
每次听一听都快睡着。
Freya's best work, in my opinion. Although the photo doesn't carry the same energy as the real thing.
What do you think it's a painting of?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the subject matter? What's that big red thing?
Oh, I don't think it's that kind of painting. Felix made that? Huh. That's quite sweet, really. Paints are different to flowers.
I'd say so, yeah.
At any time, flowers can bloom with perfect, faultless colors. With paint, once you've tainted a color by mixing it with
Wow.
others, not even the most skilled painter
有这
can
种
return
见
it
解
to
很
its
恐
pure
怖。
form. There's something off about this.
What is it?
Why don't you take another look at Flora's
胡
room?
多话的房间，
You think we missed a clue up there?
Not exactly.
胡多话的房间，
There's something about Hawkshaw's handheld microscope. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
胡多话的房间。胡多话是谁？ 个 Freya。Beefy， 那弗洛瓦房间是哪一个 ？Beats。
Freya's painting supplies. Supposedly, Freya was looks like she was
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
Freya's painting supplies. Supposedly, Freya was
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush. The attic's directly above us, right?
Yeah.
There's something off about this.
What is it?
Why don't you take another look at Flora's room?
You think we missed a clue up there?
Not exactly. It's an egg with feet.
It was locked, but we opened it. But it was empty.
Fun story. That looks like it might belong to Poppy. That belongs to Poppy.
So why is it up in Flora's tower?
I'm not sure.
What do you think that is in Flora's hand?
I don't know. It does look like a knife, but Flora wasn't holding anything at all when I saw her after the murder. But there's something bothering me. Something else.
What?
When we went into Flora's room, she wasn't standing in this position.
Well, she probably would have moved around a little bit by then.
She wasn't standing at all. She was kneeling on the floor.
她是跪在地板上，在干嘛啊？
It's of no interest to me, but I overheard Poppy and Freya
Poppy
talking
跟
about
弗雷
it
亚，所以
once.
在问 Poppy。
What were they saying?
They were arguing about something, but I can't remember the details.
因为每个人都
It
很可
looks like
疑
it。might belong to Poppy. Who gave you that information?
We don't actually know who it was. We were contacted anonymously.
I see. And what happens if the person who contacted you turns out to be the murderer?
I never thought about that.
Honestly, that would be kind of fun. Like a twist, you know?
干我这些没问。
Penelope knows about birds. You should ask her instead.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about something. There's a plant mentioned on this page, see?
这个
Do you have any? In the greenhouse?
No, I don't grow that anymore. I've tried in the past. It's incredibly difficult, even for me. I could never get it to live more than a couple of weeks. Looks like someone doesn't want you to read that book.
That's the main thing making me want to read it.
I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells. They're relatively common, especially around here. There's a difference between that and actual gold.
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just inside the earth or whatever. You can't make it. It's called alchemy. It was a whole thing.
我一直觉得炼金术要炼出金来真的很难，你要先找到那个原本的物质有金这个金属。
I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
Me 3. Oh, sorry. I thought you said me too.
没了。
A little chart of... Actually, I have no idea what it's about.
个也还没解出来啊。
What do you make of it?
Not a whole lot. A little chart of... Actually, I have no idea what it's...
What do you make
Not
of
a whole lot.
Needless noise from tongues expel, unless within the mouth they dwell. The spoken word, unfit for dealing with the shifting form of feeling, stand unblinking in the face of taciturn and soundless space.
他念诗是不是啊？
Foregone drifter, holding fast, days as shadow seeker past. Is it bravery or surrender, accepting that your world will render nothing darker than the gloom some four walls make round a room?
他念诗哎，每个都有押
Between
韵
the
哎。
lips a silver spoon, a story written all too soon. The chosen dwelling of her heart, unjustly chosen to depart. Lost her liberation lays in the center of a maze. With surging tide, the waves are thrown, an entity of all its own. But on its surface you may see, reflected in the waters be, the orchestrator, pale and still, pulling strings, enacting will.
我都不知道要不要认真看这些诗了。
Hard of head, but free of mind, unimprisoned, unconfined. With starry eyes, she sees beyond, behind our walls, beneath our pond. A soul untied, it's hers, it's free. Was then, is now, will ever be. Softly does the flower grow, all in time, and time is
那
slow.
11整整人吗？
Rest a seed within the earth, but do not rush
他
its
们每个人都
gentle
很
birth.
怪小啊，
Hour
就
by
是
hour, day by
就是
day,
音乐家，
tune your heart
都每个
to
都阴阳怪
nature's
气的
way.。That's me. I'm on a list of murder suspects. Always thought that would be kind of cool.
为什么不
but
念
it's
诗了
just？ tedious.
Falls a little short, doesn't it?
Feathers flashing in the light from a sunbeam gleaming bright. I shield my eyes and turn my head, but all at once I've been misled. Light is shining on the
他很适合
stage,
当
but
rapper
through
哎。
the railings of a cage. Eavesdrop what the stars are saying. Earthly tether, slowly fraying, floating helpless from the worst of jealous hunger, selfish thirst. Take a moment, kneel and meet the flowers growing at your feet.
嗯？
So there are two families living in Tangle Tower?
Mm-hmm. 3 pointers and 5 fellows. 4 fellows.
What's the connection between them?
There isn't one. Not really. It was all built by the Remington family. Flora is a Remington, originally. So was Primrose, my mother. She married into the Pointers, and Flora married into the Fellows.
So the Fellows and the Pointers own the house now?
Flora owns the house. Depending on who you ask, that means her husband Felix owns it too.
What about your father?
His claim over the house kind of fell apart after my mother left.
Where's your mother now?
No idea. There's something I noticed about Freya's knife wound.
Hit me.
From what we could tell, the blade went in
直
at
角
exact
刺入
right
跟
angle,
Freya 的身体
perpendicular
垂
to
直
Freya's，body. And there's only one small pool of blood. Nothing on Freya's hands.
这样他怎么
or
死的
anywhere
啊？
else. The whole
总不可
thing
能
was
刺
just
在手上然后就死掉了吧？
peaceful. This is mine.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya about a year ago.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy.
What do you make of this statue?
I know that's the only harp in the whole of Tangle Tower. I've never actually seen a real one.
Maybe it's from before your time.
Oh, definitely. You see how old this statue is?
What about the symbols? One of them looks like piano keys.
Yeah, weird. Don't you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to anyone?
Someone's being deliberately secretive.
Or they're trying to manipulate you. When I first saw it, I thought it looked like Flora was holding
You don't think that anymore?
No, it was a stupid thing to say. The room was dark. I was in shock. I'm just an idiot.
But it was blood on the tip. If you hadn't said anything, maybe Fifi wouldn't have checked.
Exactly. It's stupid.
But we would have missed out on an important clue.
Is it a clue? Really? Tell me how
这
it's
谁的血啊？这
Tell
重
me
点
how
是谁
it
的血？
helps. Nothing about the knife makes any sense. It's just freaking everyone out. Wish I'd never said anything. It was my mother's originally.
So, why is it up in Flora's room?
She just gets the most use out of it. Freya would borrow it too sometimes.
Does this belong to you, Poppy?
Now that's not really my style, is it?
But who else would own a tape like this?
Literally anybody? Yeah, it's mine.
啊，这第一次要叫我选这个哎
What's。so special about it?
I got it from my teacher. It's the first piece I ever learned.
How long have you been playing?
Since the day I turned 6. Family tradition. I was really excited to start learning. As soon as I arrived at my second lesson the next day, Freya was there too. She hadn't asked permission, just showed up. For 2 whole years, the teacher taught us both.
Was Freya any good?
She would have been even better than me.
就
if
是因
she'd
为
stuck
嫉
with it.
妒，然后去杀死
One
他。
day, she just stopped coming to lessons.
Why?
That's just it. There was no reason. That's when I realized things were different for her.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
“什么意思？
What was inside?
Nothing.
Huh. Freya would always load up the palette with all the exact colors she was gonna need. I think it helped her zone out and focus on the actual painting itself. Like getting all your sheet music lined up before playing a long piece.
Right. So the blob of black paint in the middle, that was for painting Flora?
Flora's dress, yeah. She wears even more black than I do. Why is the glass cracked down one side?
Natural wear and tear, maybe?
No way. Freya took good care of her stuff. Whose paints are those?
They belong to Felix, I think.
Is that supposed to be Flora?
Possibly.
Oh. How nice. Hey, that's me. Not a bad likeness.
It looks like you're standing in a rose bush.
Is there something wrong with that? I think everybody sees something different.
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a recurring nightmare.
Sorry, but if it was from a nightmare, why would you paint it and leave it in front of your bed?
对啊，
Maybe she wanted to take control of it. Giving something a physical form can make it easier to deal with. Well, sometimes. I don't know what that is.
Weird, considering we found it hidden in your room.
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there. I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me. I see a lot of birds up in the rooftop garden. They seem to really like it up there.
Why's that?
It's quiet.
Do you know where those earmuffs came from?
I put them there.
Why?
啊，
I found them lying around. I think they belong to Fitz. I put them on the statues so he'd see them. I thought they looked like headphones, like he's in the recording studio with his guitar.
Oh,
No?
If they do belong to Fitz, he hasn't taken them back yet. When did you find them?
This morning.
今天早上
Where?
I don't know, in a hallway. Can't remember exactly. I think it's kind of cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're
每个人
allowed
都
to
是
go
凶手
far.
的感觉。
Penny can be a little protective. Those petals,
What about them?
It's nothing. They're just unusual. Never seen that one before.
No, we found it in Penny's room.
Right. Don't look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano. Is that a gardening trowel?
Yeah, I think it belongs to Fitz.
Really? Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did it...
Impressive, I guess, but kind of unsettling with Fitz lurking.
Yeah, he does that. Did you find that in Fifi's room?
No? Should we
大
have?
家都在觉得是
No, it's
Fifi
just-
那边发
It
现。
looks like something she'd use, don't you think? Where did you find this?
It was in the attic.
Oh, huh. I forgot we even had an attic. You get some weird insects around here, but I've never seen one like that.
I'm not sure anyone has.
Freya might have. She used to keep beetles in a box.
Why?
For fun, obviously. Was that Fifi's diary?
That's where we found it.
Have you ever read it?
Nope. I'm sure she...
I thought you and Fifi were close friends.
Yeah, we are. It's just... Fifi's gotten kinda impatient with me recently.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure.
I'm sure she'd tell you if you asked.
Oh, she would. She'd give it to me straight. Probably why I've been avoiding it. That belongs to Flora, I think.
This is a photo of Fifi and Freya, right?
Yeah,
How come you're not in it? Your friend.
I'm not really one for photographs.
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable.
好了，剩下
There's something about that diary we found in Fifi's room. Something.
Let's ask her about it.
剩下2位。
A fellow bird enthusiast. She's quite the expert, truth be told. Studied them professionally at one point. I think her father taught her.
Are you friends with Flora?
A little bit.
A little bit friends.
She's one for the peace and quiet. I dare say I'm a little too loud for her.
I can see that.
I do admire her, though, really. Always felt like she could have done better than settle for Felix.
Ouch.
I said it. I must say, I really don't care for the den of self-delusion that
他
he's
超像是那
retreated
个
into.
大妈在那边
People
到
are
处
better
抱
off
怨
if
的
they。just let themselves be themselves. Between you and me, I think Felix is secretly rather miserable. She mostly ignores me, if I'm honest.
How come?
Well, we're not quite on the same intellectual level.
Oh. you don't need to.
No, no, it's quite all right. I'm comfortable with it.
这个人就是一个瞎妹。
She's a most unsavory little... She was incredibly rude about my appearance.
Which part? The giant bird arms, or...
If I were her, I'd go easy on the judgment of others. I mean, look at her. She looks like the ghost of a scarecrow. I just wish Uncle Pointer would tell her to behave herself.
Professor Pointer? Why him?
Oh, it was Uncle that called her
Oh.
in. She's his responsibility. Did you not know that? She'd sit in the aviary, first thing in the morning. Sometimes she'd ask me their names.
Freya was interested in studying bird species.
No, just wanted to know their names. Isabelle, Clementine, Myrtle, Lysandre, Genevieve.
Got it, thanks.
For my 21st birthday, she gave me a framed painting. All the birds from a single spring, with their names written underneath. I can't begin to tell you how much I've treasured it.
Sounds like you two were close.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration for her, but she had a way of understanding unspoken things.
哎，还是不知道谁。
Oh, she's beautiful.
她真的是瞎妹。
She. Wait, is that me? Oh, did you talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them. It'll all be lies.
我
Why
靠！
would Poppy lie to us?
Because that's what she does. She's a snake. Looks like one, too.
Don't you think you're being a little unfair, Penny?
She started it. Isn't he strapping?
He is big.
And so brooding.
Kinda sulky, yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just sounds
I
like...
don't remember asking for your input. Can't say I've ever taken an interest in Uncle's astronomy. On occasion, I've dared to visit him in his tower, but I always regret it. It's all just a little too abstract for me.
What do you mean?
Oh, did you know the sun is apparently over 400,000 miles wide? Okay, so what should I do with that information? How does it help me?
Don't look at me. You're the one who memorized it.
It's probably quite impressive. To a visitor, fresh eyes and all that.
Not to you.
Try living in it for 20 years. The sheen wears off. If it wasn't for my fits, I'd have little reason to stay.
What about inheritance? You're the next oldest pointer after your uncle, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much for phrasing it like that. But no, any money left in the Pointer family will pass down directly to Poppy.
Is that fair?
I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest. Finally! I get to see a detective's case file.
That's a very specific thing to be excited about.
Only last week I asked that miserable hotshot woman if I could see her case notes.
I'm guessing she said no.
Would have been much more polite if she had just said no. Instead, she was quite rude to me. Accused me of being, what was it? A shallow sensationalist. Goodness me. Poppy really doesn't take care of her belongings, does she?
It wasn't in Poppy's room. It was in the little pond in the garden.
Exactly! Hardly the place for it. I'm sure I've read about this creature somewhere. Don't remember anything about him playing the harp, though. Hello. Who penned this juicy little number?
We don't know. It's
An
not...
anonymous letter? Classic clue. I doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling. Don't you think? It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her. How terrible.
You recognize it?
The color scheme. 3 different pinks. Obscene. Poppy's gramophone. She's had it for a long time. As a young child, she'd call it her mama phone, on account of it belonging to her mother.
That's cute.
Oh yes, adorable. Gaudy old thing, isn't it? Flora seems very fond of it. I've never understood why. But then I could say the same thing about her husband.
Heyo!
Oh, that's rather sad. Freya doesn't take very good care of her pains, does she? Then she was always rather bohemian, had her own priorities. If If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind. A bit vain to carve wooden figurines of oneself, isn't it?
You've seen these before?
Yes.
All of them. Even this one of...
Yes. I know a lot of people rather like this painting, but it's a little... I find it overbearing. And for some reason, it makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more troubled than we knew. Freya was very talented.
Do you know how old this photo is?
Not sure. Must be a couple of years at least. Sometime before Fiona settled on her current style. I can't decide what's worse. How she looks here, or how she looks now.
Do you know who this is? In the photo?
Oh, absolutely no idea.
哦，看他到底是谁啊？
Yes, it's my... my flower.
You don't like it?
I'm no good at caring for plants. I forget to water them. Birds are much easier. They're a lot more vocal when they get thirsty.
Do you at least like the look of the flower?
The look?
The colors? The shape of it?
Between you and me, I think it's a little vulgar.
他到底喜不喜欢他未婚夫啊？
That's rather strange now, isn't it?
We found it in your room.
Just lying around, was it?
Nope. You'd hidden it, but we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message? And what's the
No,
deal
I
with
will
the
get
petals?
her.
It's really none of your business. I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all
感谢思雨33个月
I
续
couldn't
订，
let anything
谢
happen.
谢。
Do they have
你们
names?
可怜可
Of
怜
course.
我。
Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
他不啦，他贝啦，他
I've already
变了。
forgotten all those names.
Which one is which?
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest, Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
我再看一次，我还是念不懂到底是
What
谁
about。the one on your head?
On my head? He's just my hat. He doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat? Lovely. There used to be all kinds of birds here at Tangle Tower. The most fascinating breeds, all totally unique.
Used to be? There are birds all over the place.
Most of them are rather ordinary, I'm afraid.
What happened to the non-ordinary ones?
That is a very good question. Looks a little simple for Poppy, doesn't it? I thought
I
you would.
didn't know there were that many grades.
I'm sure they invented some new ones just for her.
他很不喜欢 Poppy，
Haven't seen this one in a while. He lives in the music
他是不是觉
room,
得
doesn't he?
Poppy 抢走他的未婚夫啊？
Oh, did Fit show you that?
Not exactly.
We found it hidden under his bed.
Ah, right. Ooh, delightful. More of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't it?
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point, I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look. I don't know what that is. Is that
哇，
for sewing?
Maybe?
We have no idea.
他真的是有点那种渔夫属性
Not。a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I. Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted.
Ooh, a secret diary.
That's our guess too.
Excellent. Somebody taking an interest in extinct animals.
Extinct.
Oh, yes. The book is very old. Most of the birds in it are long gone.
Well, what about this bird, though? The ink dip.
This one? Well, it was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle Tower.
So it's not.
那你知道你去哪里了？
You misunderstand. It was the last one. The very last.
Oh. There's something about the report of Fitz going up Pointer Tower. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
There's something about those petals we found in Penny's room. Something.
Let's ask her about it.
最后一个人了，问完之后就可以问那些线索了。
A listless soul drifting through the ether.
What's wrong with her?
Not sure. She's always been troubled. Comes from a dysfunctional family. I'd say you could ask her about it, but I think you might find that to be a bit of a
家人
dead
都
end.
很不客气耶。
He should learn to make the most of his lot in life. And he does have a lot in life.
You're talking about money?
Among other things, but yes, he currently has agency over a small fortune. That is, if he hasn't already squandered it or lost it.
You two don't get on?
Oh no, we're the best of friends. Ah, yes, the heiress of Tangle Tower. Goodness knows what'll happen when she takes charge. I dare say she'll confiscate my telescope and replace it with a microscope.
She doesn't seem to be the type to impress her will on others.
Still, keep an eye on her.
侦探，
Dangerously intelligent, that
他找
one.
侦探到
You
底是要
sound
干嘛？
jealous. Wait, are you two science rivals?
Oh no, we operate on very different wavelengths. Literally. Hard to read, that one, but she seems to know what she's doing.
She's kind of mean.
You know, I simply assumed all detectives were sharp, rigorous, and thorough. Then, of course, I met you. Nobody could deny her talent. She was remarkable, artistically gifted, but also highly intelligent.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive, you know.
Was she ever interested in astronomy?
I don't think she was. The fault may well lie with me for failing to inspire her. But I think she was captivated by more tangible things here on Earth. My daughter loved her. Fiona, too. That said, in the last year or so, more and more I've begun to notice her by herself. Wandering the gardens at the most peculiar hours. She must have explored every inch of the grounds 100 times over. Quite a restless spirit, I think. I'm surprised she chose to live at Tangle Tower as long as she did. What do you want me to say?
He's a member of the family.
Yeah, but not the Pointer family.
What happened to his parents, do you know?
His father, Flint, is Felix's brother. Strange man. Don't think anybody knows what happened to him, but he certainly doesn't live here anymore.
What about his mother?
Emily? I've not met her. She never actually married into the fellow family. Her relationship with Flint was,
哦，离婚。
it was short-lived. My Poppy, my pride and joy. Exceptionally talented pianist from a Hold on. Why is she on your list of suspects?
Because she's a suspect.
Oh no, I can personally vouch for her innocence. She'd never... Well, the truth is, she loved Freya very dearly.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened to Poppy's mother?
Primrose? She was Flora's sister, a Remington by birth. The playing field has never really been even since she left.
Where did she go?
Away. She went away. Ah, Penelope, our resident ornithologist.
Penny's your niece, is that right?
At this moment in time, until she marries the gardener.
他真的
She'll
很讨
still
厌
be your
他。
niece.
But she'll depart from the world of the Pointers and join the Fellows. Like rats deserting a sinking ship. I don't especially want to talk about myself. Introspection often leads to vanity.
Wait, does it?
Why don't we discuss the moons of Jupiter instead?
I'm not sure if we have time. Aren't there like 10 of them?
83.
Yeah, we don't have time.
What kind of flower is that?
We're not sure. I think it might be the only one of its kind.
Primrose would know. My wife was a floriculturalist. Best in the field. That's a flower joke, but she was.
Interesting.
Well now, that is most definitely none of my business. Quite possibly none of yours either. That's rather a small cage for 3 birds, isn't it? But then, aren't we all trapped in a cage? I've seen those earmuffs before. They're the ones Fitz always wears when he's out the front gardening.
Always wears?
Whenever I've seen him, yes. I think you may wish to adjust your threshold of what you consider to be a clue. What a precious photograph. She hasn't changed a bit, has she?
Who?
Oh, if you don't know, perhaps I don't either. Oh my. This is the first piece that Primrose ever learnt on the Primrose, that is, Poppy's mother. She passed it down to Poppy when she started teaching her how to play.
Poppy's piano teacher was her mother?
所以他
Of
们
course.
吃
Warms
两个
my
人都
heart
同
to
时
know
啊
that after everything, Poppy still has it up on her.
So which one is Tangle Tower?
each
What's that?
There are 2 towers, right? Flora's tower and your astronomy tower.
Neither? Truly, I have no idea. You'd have to ask Flora.
She named the house?
The whole thing is a result of her squabbling with her family.
With Felix, you mean? Her husband?
No, her brother and sister, and her father. The Remington family was a rather tumultuous little unit, you see. I don't think Flora has spoken with any of them in over a decade. Not exactly a wealth of information, is it?
It's enough.
Isn't the process of decay
It's
fascinating?
not really decaying. It's plastic.
塑胶的话，它那个
Becoming
磁带会
one
不会
with
坏掉
nature,
发
all
霉
the？same.
玩再是要破案的。
A very old statue indeed. I'd
感觉快
recommend
了，
you
把这边
leave
问
it
完就
well
可以了。
alone. The poor fellow's in bad enough shape as it is. Where on earth did you find that?
It was in a bush outside.
How peculiar.
哎呦，可能是他的姓哦。
I find that painting to be in rather bad taste.
Oh, yeah?
The knife with real blood on it, the whole thing is rather vulgar. Pointer property originally, purloined by the Fellows. Typical. I haven't seen that tape for a long time. Who broke it?
No idea.
Ah, well. Curious little thing, isn't it? Do you know what she keeps in there?
Nothing. At the moment, it was empty.
How bizarre.
Can't a woman keep an empty egg in her room?
Here's a thought. Do you suppose the paintbrush
画
could
笔
be
这
the
凶
murder
器直接
weapon?
刺进手里
After
面
all,
吧？
it was found at the
会不会有
scene,
毒啊？
right next to Freya's body.
I guess it's possible.
This looks a little rushed. Even by Felix's standards.
At least he tried.
Yes, I suppose it's good. Keeps his mind from decaying, you know. Is this important?
Possibly.
This is supposed to be Felix, is it?
I think so.
I see he's afforded himself considerable artistic license. These were drawn by Freya. She must have drawn that one of Hawkshaw rather recently.
I guess.
Poppy's 2 closest friends. Freya looks so innocent there.
他们都不讲这个人到底是谁。
Freya was well acquainted with the abstract, I'll say that much.
What does it look like to you?
To me, it's a big, red,
thing.
What a fascinating interpretation.
He's right, though. It is a big red thing.
剩8个了。
That's a very old book, isn't it? Looks like someone could have taken better care of it.
I like the look of a well-read book better than
Ah, well put. A diary can be a wonderful outlet for an outpouring of one's soul.
How do you know it's a diary?
I suppose I don't, but it does look like a diary.
So, we found some research. What's up with this golden beetle? Is this...
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous inhabitant of Tangle Tower. I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy tower.
What's this? Is it a clue?
We don't actually know. But Grimoire picked it up, so now he has to pretend it is.
That's how it works.
Fitz seems rather keen to grow things like this in his greenhouse, doesn't he?
What's wrong with that?
Well, you can't eat it. Makes you wonder why he bothers at all. Oh, you found a murder weapon?
Steady on. It's just a gardening trowel.
Looks like a weapon to me. Curious creature, isn't it? Some sort of amphibious bipedal fishman.
Playing a trumpet?
Playing a trumpet, yes. What's this?
It looks like it might be a telescope. Thought you might know something about it.
Well, it certainly is a telescope. It has a part there to screw onto a tripod, you see. It's rather small, though. I'm not sure you could see many stars with it.
No, probably not.
好了，都问完了。
There's something about pointers something.
Let's ask him about it.
OK， 那这样子的话，一个一个问。来吧。
So, this painting, specifically that knife in Flora's hand.
Yeah, it's creepy. But we didn't find a knife anywhere in the room. So what's going on?
靠北还是不讲话。
It's not a knife. We need a clue to compare with the painting. Something to explain what that knife shape actually is.
我看现在可以凹证据出来哦，这个吧。
That kinda makes sense, but no.
啊，不是，刀状物体的东西，啊，不就这个？
That kinda makes sense.
没啦没啦，该不会是画笔吧？
That's not it. That kinda makes sense.
不对不对，那这幅画。
That's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
这个吧？
We'll get to that in a minute.
不是吗？
That's not it.
好快哎！油画刀、画笔。
That's not it.
我刚按的没有啊。
That's not it. That's not it.
那没道理啊，不是这个。
That kinda makes sense.
Let's take a closer look at this.
看，我知道了，靠背。
painted knife is actually just a feather from an ink dip bird.
It's definitely the right shade.
但没想到
but
这
the
个问
book's
题
not in
耶。
color. The thing Flora's holding in the painting is red and white, specifically. Is there anything to suggest that the ink dip bird is red and white too?
哇，原来问了这么多问题，现在开始在总考验你有没有刚刚在认真看东西耶。那个雕像。
This little thing? I don't understand why Felix would make a model of this bird as part of a gift for Flora. And come to think of it, why would Flora be holding a feather in the painting anyway?
但是红马相间鸟怎么回事？啊？朵娜早安。那你是宠物啊，所以他养了。看，一定不是这样子。
The ink dip almost. Maybe just she. The ink dip bird was Flora's pet, so she kept a single feather to remember it by.
She kept the bird as a pet. And it died?
Maybe it flew away.
Flora spends all her time staring out the window.
Either way, she kept the feather. I think it was pretty important to her.
All right.
可是
So
为什
she
么要
was
拿
holding the
血？
feather
为什么要
while
拿
Freya
血
was
帮他
painting
画
her.
画？
But where is it now? You'd think she'd keep it somewhere close by.
Yeah, I think she does. Normally. This is where Flora usually keeps her feather.
But we opened it. It's empty.
Mm-hmm. Completely empty. Flora? She's pointing at something in the corner of the room.
It's just a pile of books. They're not... Wait. There's something tucked inside this one.
Oh. 我的天哪，怎么又多一个了？
The whole room is a strange...
Yeah, there might be a reason for that. I like these drawings, Flora.
Is there a reason why you wanted us to see them? So, about this paint we found in your room.
Nothing suspicious about it. I used it to paint, obviously. Totally normal thing to do.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me of?
这不是你的颜料罐。
It's not your paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's definitely mine. I even have proof. Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint pots. End of discussion.
That's not the end of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint. Something to prove who it actually belongs to. Let's take a closer look at this.
看这个，真的是没想到这个东西耶。 不要回料罐。啊！弗雷亚的红颜料罐正是 Flexis 红颜料罐。
Freya's red paint? Nope.
我知道他们两个是不一样的啊，可是，
Freya's red almost. Maybe just change. Freya's red paint pot was broken by Felix's red paint pot. Almost. Maybe
看
just
错了啊！这个
That red paint is from Freya Supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
Why are you bothering me about paint anyway? And none of this is connected to your murder.
这个红颜料罐，不知道为什么充满了血。
This red paint pot was somehow filled with blood before Freya used it to paint Flora.
Oh, that's definitely something. Right, fine. Here's the story. I was busy working on a project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red paint. There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely
所以弗雷亚的手割伤就是因为他拿那个红色的血。
Just for a little while, you know, perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it, but she didn't seem to care. So, well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room?
Not my proudest moment, but it's just paint. I didn't touch anything else.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it got
他手上有痕迹嘛，所以血液是这样进去。
Why were you in such a hurry to get a hold of red paint anyway?
I was trying to finish this in time for Flora's birthday. I needed red to paint the final details.
Could you not have just used a different color?
Out of the question. It had to be red and white.
If you managed to finish it, why haven't you given it to Flora yet?
Well, I decided against it in the end. After what happened, seemed a bit insensitive.
Ah, 完了。
These drawings are quite... I'm surprised Flora let you see them.
What happened to the bird?
I don't know. Seems likely, though, doesn't it?
Freya drew these.
Yeah, I think so. There's a note on the back.
But she never showed them to me.
Well, I think it was a gift for your mother, like a private thing between Freya and Flora.
Is this your diary, Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like that?
Do you seriously require an
这要解
explanation?
释吗？对啊。
Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in particular by girls between the ages of 10
So, there are secrets written here?
This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
It's somebody else's diary.
How could you arrive at that conclusion? It is kept in my bedroom. It is mine.
We need a clue to compare with the diary. Something to prove who the original owner was.
啊？什么东西呀
？That's not it.
对不起，跟秘密日记比较的东西。
That's not it.
Let's take a closer look at this.
哦，不讲不知道哎，白痴哦。
This blue book, almost, maybe just...
这样吗？
This blue book is the same thing as the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room, and you kept it locked, too.
这家人怎么都做这么怪啊？ 啊，他在。比比为什么要藏菲尔拉的日记？
Fifi didn't want anyone to see.
Is this true, Fifi?
I know Freya was your friend, but if you're trying to hide something...
You did not know Freya, so this might be difficult to understand. She did her own thing. In her own, by concealing Freya's written accounts, it is simply
Innocence?
Might be easier if you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
Very well. I will open it. However, as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind and the most wise person I have ever known.
All right, Fifi unlocked the diary.
Finally. What's in there?
他回来了，这次有实际的形体，是我吗？是我放出去的吗？或许我该把这幅画撕的。爆魂蟹有用了，惊人的小东西，我现在有2个人，还需要2个。找到了通往中间的路，跟树群比起来意外的简单。我看到他们一共5个眼睛涂黑了，不管发生什么事。干，在打什么哑谜？
A book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
"这些人都很可疑耶。
Does Flora still own that bird?
Don't think so. The drawings are from
I
a...
see.
This little microscope thing? You said you used it to
And this would make perfect sense. If you knew. Of course, I still have no intention of disclosing.
You're such a tease, Hawkshaw. Don't worry. We already worked out what you're searching for.
啊？为什么我不知道？
That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right.
啊，我知道啊，这个啦。
You're not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
So, that's what you were looking for in the greenhouse? This beetle?
Surely even you can understand the logic of it. The greenhouse is home to a great many insects. The gardener could have easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but didn't actually search the greenhouse.
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact she didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse. It's not a microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on microscopes.
The handheld microscope? Nope.
干全错哎。
The handheld microscope? That's not right.
菲比不是告诉我们尽管现在之处吗？我知道是一个望远镜啊。
The handheld That's not right either.
等一下，个人下午了。前面我们花了大概1个小时到2个小时在听那些证词，快睡着了。就现在是总复习时间。
The handheld mic? That's not right either.
对啊，这个不是望远镜吗？哦。
The handheld microscope? Almost. Maybe just... The handheld microscope? I'm inclined to believe Fifi when it comes to stuff like this.
Aksha, why did you lie about owning a telescope?
When you were a child, what did you aspire to?
开始在扯了。
A detective, naturally.
Emperor of the Galaxy.
I wanted to be an astronomer.
Really?
又在扯
I
了。
harbored a desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the world around me.
这个你相信？
I became a detective. But the yearning for elusive knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Sorry, but we're way off track. What's
A
the...
memento from my childhood. Little more than a toy.
Why did you bring it with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me, I dared to consider it something of a planetary alignment.
God.
I had hoped he might sign it. An extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So, who is your suspect?
Things have become complicated. My lead suspect is your murder victim.
他到底偷什么东西啊？
Did Freya draw these?
Yeah. There's a note.
She was...
So, Fitz, I have a report that you were seen, holding a knife.
That's not right. I don't go into Pointer Tower. Was it Fifi who told you this?
Yes.
How did you know that?
A guess. She doesn't like me very much. But yeah, she was mistaken. Maybe she wasn't wearing her eye lens thing.
What do you think, Grimoire?
Fifi did see Fitz.
So, if it wasn't a knife, what?
What about this?
Ah, that.
Is it yours?
It was a gift. It's sentimental. I have no reason to take it up Pointer Tower. I don't use it at all.
An ornate trunk. Nope.
Huh?
An ornate trowel is...
That flower.
Yes?
I've never seen it before.
We need a clue to compare to that flower. Something that proves its connection to Fitz. We need a clue that's got some connection.
Let's take a closer look at these.
蓝色土壤。听说每个都在
The
说
pot
啊
and soil in Penny's room matches the pot.
每个都在说谎
Let me
哎。
guess. Penny's flower was originally a gift from you, Fitz. There's no way it's a coincidence.
No way what's a coincidence.
The flower. It looks exactly like Penny.
It took me a long time to breed. I wanted the colors to be exactly right.
That's some
哦，
gift.
就是跟这个
Turns out Penny isn't
跟
particularly
Penny
interested in
一样的
looking after
人的
plants.
感觉的
So,
话，
go into her room every now and again. When she's not there, water the flower, change the soil, just trying to keep it alive.
好吧，好像没办法哎。那你又藏了什么秘密？
How sweet.
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape?
不
Is it
不对
yours?
呀，
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No acid jazz.
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors. Let's take a closer look at this. The pink cassette tape
干好像
is
不是欸
almost, maybe just.
干，我粉红色卡带在哪里看到的？在那个喇叭神换到。这样。
The pink almost, maybe just.
啊，对对对，这样对。
The pink cassette tape.
That is not me.
Yeah,
黑
it
历
is.
史。
I'll prove it. You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up and then hide it?
I think the answer is.
每个人都不想跟我讲他是谁。
Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of
Maybe.
the reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore.
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the
对啊，
middle?
怎么裂开的？
I have no idea.
我也没办法去解释。凶手到底是谁啊？每个人都在藏。来，我们来看看你这个38大神你在讲什么。
So, yeah, we found this.
Oh, that's nothing.
You wrote, "Now I'll get her," on a piece of paper and hid it in your room. That's not nothing.
Actually, it's not the. It's those red flower petals.
The petals.
They're from red tulips.
You think so?
Maybe not. It's those red flower petals.
The petals.
They're fake.
You think so?
Maybe not. It's those red flower
The petals.
They're from red roses. And there's only one place in Tangle Tower with red
哪里
roses.
呀？
We
温
need a
室
clue.
吗？
Something.
That almost. But it's not right.
"没道理呀、这定不是。
That's not right. We'll get to that later.
"画吗？没啊没啊。啊！
It's a drawing of Fitz and Poppy in the rooftop garden. See what Fitz is holding?
I can't imagine what you're getting at. But it doesn't matter. I couldn't have taken anything from the rooftop garden. It's only accessible from Fitz's room or Poppy's room. How could I have taken something from a garden to which I have no access?
Is it really only accessible from those two bedrooms?
For most people, it would be. But don't forget, pennies.
你不要跟我说叫这几只鸟进去拿东西哦。
My dears, what are you accusing me of?
One of Penny's birds was used to spy on. We know those two have been spending time together in the rooftop garden. I'm guessing you got paranoid. Want to know what they were up to.
I'm just not the jealous type. I would never suspect fits of anything like that. Besides, Tabitha hardly ever leaves her cage. She's certainly never flown up to the rooftop garden.
We need a clue to compare with Penny's birds, something to prove one of them has been... Let's take a closer look at these. This yellow feather...
I can't stand it! Knowing the two of them are hidden away up there in their private little garden. I couldn't risk spying on them myself, so I asked dear Tabitha to do it for me. I knew she'd be able to bring me back some evidence.
Sorry, Penny, but are you not overreacting a little?
You don't understand. Fitz is slipping away from me. He's so quiet with me these days, but being with Poppy seems to bring him out of his shell. I don't know what he sees in her miserable little...
Wow.
I apologize. This really isn't your burden to bear.
真的是哎。
Yes, very nice. Where is that bird of Flora's? It's been a while since I've seen it.
It's that bird, but these must have been drawn. How sad.
So, Professor?
It's not a matter of being in. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot
好像每个读宇宙都会这样讲。
expanded.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
I have a theory about you, Professor.
Oh? Go on.
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean?
I think you're interested in a slightly different field of research.
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that. Pointer's telescope was at...
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what, spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
还真的有可能是弗雷亚偷的。
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
It's a very precious specimen, incredibly rare.
难怪他请侦探来。
Ways you could never understand. Freya was always sneaking around, both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
No, I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora? You mean Freya?
Eh?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This changes your statement, doesn't it?
No, everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene. Freya was definitely up to something.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
Maybe we should go back and check. And we could have missed something.
我们有3个地方要去。好，我们先看这个。
That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to
see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the moonlight.
哦，完蛋了。
When I heard this sound, it lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs.
I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs. They're just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me.
I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice
凶手
of
就是
my own
Felix。
daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer. So I
没人说谎啊。
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about
基本上之后我忘了
she
打
fell。silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements
对啊，
line
一
up
致
with
的
each
啊。
They don't just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other. We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
“屁呀、为什么画上有血？颜料罐里的血。”
Blood from the paint pot. was used to paint the red tip.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot, and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what, and more interested in the how.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with a painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over? Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated.
The outline of there's a single patch of no real sign.
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas. So she was probably standing.
Let's check the case file again.
This wasn't here before.
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy.
There's a note stuck to the back.
What does it say? Grimoire?
这是我的新朋友，他喜欢音乐，简单的旋律会撼动他的灵魂。祝你们两位好。
What do you think?
How?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya?
Good idea. Hold on.
Well?
It's a perfect match.
Oh, it's confirmed. We have a ghost helping us.
Let's keep this to ourselves.
What about the little wooden toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
干太大声了吧，靠背哦。
I'm still not sure.
Should we take another look?
Let's come back later.
我知道去哪里了。
It's piano music.
嗯，不是。
Weird. It's someone humming a tune.
OK， 这是一个。那再来是谁啊？
Sheet music.
That's a lot.
Probably why they're on the floor.
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literal.
.那还要再2个哎！我在哪里收集到音乐啊？鸟叫。忘记他们房间有没有音乐盒了。
And
it's home to 3 especially fancy birds. They're bird cages. But the birds are.
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is. They're bird cages. But the bird. Oh, it totally is. Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
It's another little statue.
He's playing a lute.
He's also.
Well, they're not part and they're not headphones. They're earmuffs. More egg statues.
I don't get it.
Well, either they are the sculptor was just.
What do you mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest.
We already solved it. There's a name, you know. Looks like nature. Rude.
对。我就知道，它剩一个地方啊。
Why build a house here?
I'm sure they had their reasons.
Ah. 这样子的话
That's all for
So, what?
Should we go back to the gardens again?
Let's try this again.
You know, I think we might be able to solve this now.
That's gotta be. Nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Wait, do you hear that?
我操！
Where do you think it goes?
Down.
哦，哦，又这么大声，靠北哦！太恶了吧，这傻小。
What's in there? 9 beetles. All different, all dead.
Poor little guys.
There's a bunch of notes written all around them. It's mostly numbers. No idea what they mean. It's a little diagram of a beetle.
That's weird.
What?
It looks really normal compared to the beetles behind the glass.
It's so dark, I can barely tell what I'm looking at. It looks like they're being boiled. But the liquid is ice cold.
Is it locked?
Seems likely, doesn't it? Weird looking safe.
I'm pretty sure the latches can slide into the middle.
哦，这我拿手的。 对不起，好像有点不太行。干傻小啦！我现在头是歪的，我在。让我接到吗？
I got it.
I'm impressed.
业务长。
Anything inside?
Yeah, more research.
这里独特植物形成的原因是几种化学物质，至今还没办法发现出什么。这些化学物质遗存在水中，并用云幕填满湖泊，产生各种变因。较小的生物如猪形纲动物、昆虫、软体动物、两栖动物和甲虫类影响的化学物质可能会沿着食物链相当传播，导致鸟类跟爬虫类发生厌女，哺乳类不受影响。
Whose research is this? Bugs.
Looks like they're made of metal. It's so dark, I can barely tell what I'm looking at.
Thirsty?
A cracked glass tank with 9. Each one has 1 or 2 insects.
I like that you called them rooms.
A glass tank?
There's a layer of condensation on the inside. Is that a lab coat?
Warning, hand wash only. Size, small.
What a mess.
Any idea what this is all about? Is that a periodic table?
No, but it does kind of look
What are
like
those?
They're alchemic symbols, mostly based on the planets, the sun, the moon, stuff like that.
Huh. This looks like it was drawn in a hurry.
Didn't we see those same symbols in the greenhouse?
难道
Is that a periodic?
No, but it does
What are
come.
those
They're alchemic mostly based on.
Huh.
啊？我不懂了，他叫我干嘛？
This is some seriously in-depth research.
That's impressive, but it's incomplete. There's a section missing.
So, this is Pointer's secret lab.
Definitely seems like he's the one using it.
I guess not a lot of people know about the secret entrance.
Right. But if Pointer's the only one who comes down here, why would he need to lock his research in a safe? Who's he hiding it from?
He's just paranoid, especially about his golden beetle.
What do you think he's trying to do exactly?
他想要干嘛？
Pointer has been trying to breed the golden beetle.
Why? Because it's rare?
Because it's gold?
Is that it?
I think so. I don't think he cares about entomology any more than he cares about astronomy. He just wants to get one over on Felix. If he can breed his own gold, suddenly Poppy's inheritance is looking pretty,
Infinite. Might explain why he was so worried about losing the beetle. Maybe somebody did steal it.
Might have been Freya after all. We know she was trying to get through the secret door in the garden.
She might not have known what was down here, though. Maybe she was just curious.
Curious, sure, but not naive. I reckon she knew what was going on.
I think we're still missing the bigger picture. There's no way this is all just about a beetle. We're done.
Ready to go down? Again?
还有一层楼。哦哇！
It's an old coat rack.
2 cloaks, and a green hat draped on top for good measure. Gives off kind of a dun.
What do people actually?
Nothing good.
Old cardboard.
How exciting.
Oh, but there's more. They're also damp and empty. A single book on a little makeshift table.
This is creeping me out slightly.
Why?
I think it's a children's book.
墨姬鸟，一只优雅的鸟，具有红白相间的羽毛。银蛇，一个没有眼睛但是舌头很长的水生爬虫类。一种螃蟹，拥有3只不同大小的钳子。一种类似青蛙的生物，用2条腿走路。
We're too late. This photograph has been stabbed.
Why? By what?
Not sure. Some kind of metal stabbing thingy.
Oh, 红色指针，哇！
So what's the photo?
这个是弗雷亚。哇，他们好多只鸟。
Do you know who it is in the photo?
It's an empty bookcase.
Something tells me it's been empty for a long time. There's a roll of paper up there.
I'll see if I
Let
can...
me guess. Blank.
Hold on. Have we been to all of these rooms already? That's the lake, right? I think that horizontal line might be the water level.
It used to be a lot lower down than it is now.
That's the room we're in now. It must be. It's not labeled as anything on these plans.
I think it already existed when this was made.
Study. Wait.
I know what you're thinking. And no, we never went in there.
How did we miss it?
This seems pretty significant.
Agreed.
This man in the photo, he reminds me of something from one of our...
Felix made a little model of him for Flora?
Yeah, it makes sense when you know who he is. Lord Remington.
Remington. That makes him Flora's father, meaning the girl in the photo is...
Yeah, it's her. See the bird, too.
I never would have guessed. Times sure do change.
I don't know. I don't think she looks so different.
A bunch of picture frames. And it's too dark.
It's not too dark. The frames are all empty.
Basements don't normally have windows.
We're at the bottom of the lake. It must be.
Right. But if that's the lake bed, why does it look like that?
Like what?
White, smooth, no plants, no anything. That's not what a lake looks like.
Where are we?
我们到底在哪里呀？
Did you notice how much light this room has? For a room with one candle?
It's all coming through the window.
I'm pretty sure lakes are supposed to be darker at the bottom.
开始往超能力的方向走了。
Why is there a room down here anyway? And why is it so much older than the rest of Tangle Tower?
We still don't really know why people came to live here in the first place.
Maybe they just wanted to get rich. Like,
I feel like the Remingtons came here for the lake, for what was in it.
It's empty, though. More empty than a normal lake would be.
It is now, yeah. Maybe we're too late. Let's head back up to the Grand Hall. I want to find that last room. Wow, it's dark all of a sudden.
How long were we down there?
This must be it.
How are we supposed to get up there?
Hang on, it's pitch black, but I think there's a switch.
What?
A ladder.
Want to go up?
Oh.
Is that a crab?
It's got a translucent exoskeleton.
Also, crabs normally have 2 claws, right? Not 3? You sure we should be touching it?
Grimoire, don't you think it looks familiar?
Huh? Huh? "不是，我们现在应该要干嘛？我好像越来越危险了呢。
This crab really reminds...
That little wooden toy we found?
Yeah, but I don't think I think I've seen it more recently.
对，我只要打开儿童读物，我刚这是什么姿势？
Is that a crab?
It's got a trail.
Also, crab.
看，我需要截图，等一下。
This crab really. Yeah, but I think I've seen it more recently.
Is that a crab?
It's got a.
Also, crabs. Perfect. What's this?
十字弓
Something somebody didn't want us to find. What is it?
Centipede? Millipede? How many legs has it got?
Too many.
Some kind of fish and...
If that's a bird skull, we're talking about a 15-foot bird here.
Well, how about we stop talking about it? Some kind of fish and
If
a...
that's a bird skull, we're talking
Well, how about we stop talking about it?
Nice chair.
It's still warm.
哎呦，
Maybe it's just heat from the incinerator.
Maybe. Coffee table, half... I'm gonna say...
Someone complacent enough to leave their notebook lying around.
第5名大使终于找到了，我不能说原本有多乐观，但多少有点失望。他不及家人好多少。我带着我的身边朋友到音乐室做实验，但有用，但过于成功。也是另外一个失望的地方。努力为了什么？他短视体力比我强还要严重。到了底部风景很美，大部分都清理干净了，还有我需要的东西。他进来很小心，什么都没动，但我知道是时候了。到底是谁？
An axe and some kind of hunting rifle mounted.
Honestly, doesn't...
I'm more worried about the third one.
The third one?
The one that isn't
没在
there.
动的那个。
An incinerator built into the wall. It's still pretty
Is
hot.
there anything left
It's
inside?
mostly ashes. Yeah, there's something.
我靠！
It's a wooden pinboard hung up on one of the chains.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
Someone's been using this room. Who are all the people?
Not sure, but our eyes have all been crossed out. That photo is important, I'm sure.
You know, in any normal room, this thing would be in here, though, it barely makes the top 3. You know, in any here, though, dragon,
Snake?
worm,
That's the one.
dragon,
Snake? That's the one. Do those look like scratch marks to you? On the glass?
Yeah, they're on the inside. Crumpled up paper.
Is there anything written on
Not
it?
really. It's mostly blank. Crumpled up paper.
Is there anything
Not
written?
really. It's mostly blank. It's a wooden pin hung up on one.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
哎，想想就很恐怖。
I don't get it. This room is in the original building plans for the mansion, but nowadays it's some big secret?
It's not a secret to everybody. At least one other person still knows about this room.
The way the notebook was left out on the table makes me think it's someone who has the room all to themselves.
Whoever it was, they left more than just the notebook. There's a whole design project on this pinboard. Feels like someone put quite a bit of effort into it.
It's a shame there are things missing from it. I'm betting it'd make more sense if we could see it all together.
That might not be impossible, you know.
I think that might, but not this part of the pinboard.
That doesn't seem.
We need something that could attach. Painting from Freya's room and those sketches. Did Freya design Detective Hawkshaw's clothes? What kind of
Hawkshaw 就是 Freya.
I don't think that's why Freya made that painting, but it may have been why somebody took a photo of it to use as reference. And as for those sketches of Hawkshaw, I don't think Freya actually drew them. It was somebody else, someone with less of a talent for art.
Doesn't exactly narrow it down.
哦，不是吗？
Should we go ask Detective Hawkshaw about all this?
I'm not sure. I still don't know what's really going on.
Another photograph.
Their faces are all crossed out with some kind of blacking.
That's weird.
Oh, you think so?
No, I mean, something I just realized. Sally, did we meet any of these people here at Tangle Tower?
Well, the woman on the left looks a little like Poppy, but her style is way different. And at first I thought the guy on the top right was Felix, but now that I look at it, I don't think it is him.
Was someone trying to hide it? From us?
I don't know, but I want to know what happened to the rest of it. Where are the other parts?
We found them already.
干又在骗！妈的，他刚才骗我说这是小时候的东西。
What do you make of it?
Not sure.
You don't think the crossbow is the murder weapon?
Oh no, that doesn't mean we've solved the mystery.
Oh.
Time to solve this.
All right, break out the notebook. Time to put it all together.
Let's start with this. It's an arrow for the crossbow, and it matches Freya's wound. It's the murder weapon. I'm sure of it.
Despite the fact it doesn't have any blood on it, and it wasn't found anywhere near the crime scene.
Mm-hmm. It was cleaned, then it was hidden. I don't think anybody expected us to get down to that room at the bottom of the lake.
Okay, so Freya was shot by a crossbow. Where was it fired from?
It was fired from above Freya.
Above, huh?
Yeah, our diagram doesn't show everything. Let's add in the rest of the crime scene.
The attic.
Perfect hiding place. We even found a part of the murder weapon up there. The reel was used to pull the arrow back up through the crack in the floorboards.
Explains why we never found a weapon at the crime scene, I guess.
The murderer must have dropped the reel in the attic. I'm guessing they were in a hurry to escape.
Wait. The arrow was fired through the crack in the floorboards?
Yeah, it's directly above where Freya was found lying on her back.
Nope, doesn't add up. It would have missed her if she was still standing up by the painting.
Ah, right.
Unless... Freya was already lying on her back before the arrow was fired.
I think so too. She was relaxing.
You think so?
Maybe not.
Freya was already lying on her back before the arrow was fired.
不对
I think so
，Laura 也
too.
倒了，晕倒了。
She'd fallen unconscious.
Something in the room caused Freya to fall unconscious.
paint fumes.
I'm not sure about that.
Me neither.
Something in the room caused Freya to fall unconscious.
The gramophone.
Right.
But the gramophone by itself can't do that.
There is something in the gramophone.
Mm-hmm. Something small.
That's not it.
Huh?
That's not it. That's not it.
啊啊！有身体里面藏个什么东西？羽毛？哎，不对啊，没有羽毛。
That's not it.
空的蛋、画笔跟调色盘。不可能啊！
Pointer's research says it can emit an incredibly loud hiss when it feels threatened. Poppy and Fitz both said they heard a loud noise around the time of the murder. Neither of them had any idea what it was.
This seems a little far-fetched. Is it really loud enough to knock someone out?
No, I don't think so, not by itself. But don't forget, it was being amplified by the shape of the gramophone. I don't think we're purely talking about volume either. It might just be a particular type of frequency.
This is getting kinda scientific.
这听起来很像玄
Since when do you know
学。
anything about the effects of weaponized audio frequency?
I don't, but I think someone else does. Do you remember that statue we found in the music room? The hornet's playing. It's a pretty similar shape to the gramophone. That broken glass isn't there on accident. This is someone's science experiment.
Thinking about it, Pointer said he saw Flora was knocked out too. I guess they were both in range of the noise, although Pointer might have been lying.
Personally, I think he was telling the truth about that. It's pretty clear a powerful frequency did pass through Flora's tower. Caused quite a bit of damage too. Those cracks didn't appear on Freya's paints, the pink cassette tape, and the gramophone itself. They all sustained similar damage while they were in that room.
That's some seriously powerful vibration, enough to crack metal, enough to knock someone out all the way across a room.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't get. If the frequency was so powerful and had such a big range, how did the murderer pull it off? Wouldn't they have been in range too? Think about it. They can't have been much further away from the gramophone than Flora was.
They protected themselves.
How?
These are some pretty heavy-duty earmuffs. I think they'd be enough to block out the sound.
Right. Let's go over everything from the start. 1. Freya is painting Flora's portrait. They're listening to music on the gramophone.
2. The murderer is hiding in the attic, wearing earmuffs.
3. The golden beetle starts to emit its hissing noise.
Hold on. How did it know?
The beetle?
Yeah. What triggered it at that particular moment? Pointer's research said it makes the noise when it feels threatened.
I'm not sure. Maybe something in the music?
Maybe.
4. Freya and Flora are both
对啊，为什么
not
甲虫会
unconscious
觉
by
得
the
被威胁？
vibrations. Freya lands on her back. She drops the brush and palette by her side.
那羽毛去哪里？
The murderer fires the crossbow directly downwards.
6. The arrow is pulled back up on the reel.
7. The murderer leaves the attic.
那门锁起来是密室哎，
The door is kicked down. Fitz and Poppy enter the room.
而且羽毛也不在啊。
That's it. There's something bothering.
What?
I just want to check. Let's go back to the crime scene.
It's dark.
The plant. It's in the book.
What?
Look.
Huh?
I can see the stars. I can see the stars.
但是我要找什么？黑成这个
It's
样子。
dark. The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
Freya, did you leave us a clue?
So what's bothering you?
Something that's not here. We know she was holding it during the painting.
Flora's ink-dip feather?
It was here, in this room. Where'd it go?
We found it somewhere else. We were a little too late to save it.
So it was stolen from the crime scene, and ended up in the incinerator down in the study.
Someone wanted to destroy it, I guess.
But how? How was it stolen from up here in Flora's tower?
Presumably, Flora dropped it when she fell unconscious.
Yeah, and then what? The murderer couldn't have stolen it if they were up in the attic.
他该不会跳窗
So
走
the
吧？
question is, how could they steal something from a room they weren't able to access? The final clue about the crime scene. Freya left it for us right here. It's in the unfinished painting. It's not quite a photo, but still, it's an image of the crime scene recorded just before the murder. If only she'd finished it, then I could be totally sure.
It's true she never finished it, but she did intend to finish it.
Meaning?
We know more about the painting than what Freya actually got down on the canvas.
瑞亚如何向我们表达对这幅画的用意？
That's not it. That's not it.
啊，
That's not it.
不是吗？嘿，啊，他要怎么表达啊？
That's not it. That's not it.
他要如何向我们表达他画这幅画的用意啊？生日吗？
That's not it.
哈？
That's not it.
完了，要 A 完了。
That's not it.
不是日记啊，不是画，不是盆栽镜头，这个吗
That's not it. That's not it.
他要怎么表达啊？这个吗？
That's not it.
我都快猜完了。
Freya prepared all the colors she was going to need before she started painting.
哪个颜色不在啊？红色在啊，黄色。
The yellow paint dripped on almost. Maybe just change.
不对啊，黄色有图啊，黄色有图啊，没道理啊，黄色是这一块啊。
The yellow paint.
没有 A 啦，文法不对而已啊。哦你妈啦，我不知道啊，一定不是这个啊。黄色的蛋吗
That's not it.
黄色，黄色，黄色。哦，不是吧
There she is, our little thief.
How long has it been there? Did it hear the whole conversation?
She did, but she's a very good listener. Well now, I think this has quite served its purpose, don't you?
哇，你是
Penny, why did you...
It's Penelope, if you don't mind. But before we begin, isn't there a certain formality demanding our attention?
我们有绑住他的手的东西吗？
That's not gonna work.
Lovely. Now, tell me, what was it that drove you this far? I'm ever so curious.
我一开始觉得他很花痴，没想到他
I just need to know the truth.
Is that right? Interesting.
Why did you do it, Penny? What did Freya do to you?
Absolutely nothing.
So, what? You just hated her indiscriminately?
Freya Fellow was an inspiration to us all. She was possessed of a great energy. The volition to create something from nothing. The willpower to walk beyond her boundaries. She was truly free. Everything I couldn't be.
所以嘞
You know what? I just realized I actually have no idea who Penelope Pointer really is.
Weird, isn't it? Considering we've met her, what is it, 3 times now?
Exactly. How do we know this one isn't a disguise too?
You think you've already hollowed us out, don't you? Only a few short hours at Tangle Tower. And you feel like
如果等一下全部人都爬上来的话，我一定会吓死。
Unearthed every single one of our secrets. Nothing but bullet points for your notebook. Go on, indulge me. What does it say in your notes about Penelope Pointer? I suppose I can't argue with that, can I?
Penny, we only know what you choose to tell us. So why not help us out?
Very well.
Penelope Pointer is actually not very important at all. She pales in comparison to those who came before her and to those that came after. Living at Tangle Tower, it is very difficult to attain the levels of self-realization you probably take for granted.
You sure this is a Tangle Tower thing and not a you thing?
Perhaps you didn't notice. Not one of them is happy, not one.
So why stay? Why not just leave?
I thought she did leave. Penny, you said you traveled, didn't you?
I did. Many times I've walked away. It did not help me. You saw the family tree hanging in the grand hall, did you not?
Yeah, it lists a bunch of people who don't live here anymore.
A bunch of people who don't live here anymore. I couldn't have put it better myself. My mother, for one. My father, too. The other two Remingtons. Poppy's mother, Primrose. And her brother, Richard.
And Fitz's father.
That's 5. 5 people that might have lived here, but don't.
And that was the first question I wanted answered.
You wanted to know
刚好是5个人，是那张照片吗？
More than that, I wanted to know if I belonged with them. I have no place here. Not among the Fellows, the Remingtons, or the Pointers. But I felt there must be a reason why everyone else left. Some common purpose they all shared. Perhaps it could be my purpose, too.
So, what did you actually do about it?
Nothing I could do, at first. Nobody would tell me anything. The more questions I asked, the fewer answers I got. Then, I found it. I was 19. Same age Freya is now.
Found what?
The study. The one hidden in the middle of the house. It's right next to a bedroom.
I'd hear voices at night. Deep ones. And the strangest thing, the wall behind my bed would get incredibly hot. For hours on end. The paint would peel. Wallpaper wouldn't stay up. I thought I was cursed. I thought it was something trying to break through. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I found my way in the same way you did. Once you know it's there, it's simple.
So, you got into the study and found the incinerator. That must have been a relief, right?
It was still warm when I found it. Then, I looked inside. Let's see how thorough you've been. Tell me, do you know what a misted is?
Misted?
Mistids? Sure, yeah.
为什么会少2个？
You're more observant than I thought.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
It's a collective term from before my time. Birds, insects, amphibians, anything living off the lake water. The mutation can take several generations, or it can happen overnight.
Wait, mistids, like cryptids, like Bigfoot or whatever.
A little egregious, isn't it? I suspect that was an intentional parallel. The main difference being mistids are perfectly real. They're just kept secret. Or at least, that was the original plan. As it happened, some got out. Quite a few got out.
How do you know all this?
When I entered the study at 19, I found a single object that rather changed my life. Something which answered my questions while at once creating all new ones.
That's not it.
That's not right.
啊，这个吗？
The 5 missing family members standing together as a single unit, calling themselves the ambassadors of a misted mansion.
So, the house was renamed from Misted Mansion to Tangle Tower?
And rightly so. The age of Misted Mansion is long past. When I looked inside the incinerator on my first visit, I found nothing but ash. The afterimage of a bygone era, denied to me in its entirety. The study,
The room at the bottom of the lake itself. All empty shells. I felt my only hope lay with the ambassador.
他穿的衣服
If I
是那
could
个
find them, maybe they'd share the family
套
history that Flora and the others were trying so hard to forget.
How did you track them down?
It was tough. They'd taken almost everything. Books, maps, charts. The creatures themselves, all lost. Taken away or destroyed. But I got lucky. I got a lead. I found one, and he led me to the rest.
And? What happened? Why'd you paint out all their faces?
They didn't help you either, did they?
19-year-old me had imagined they'd all left with a mission. A unified purpose. But they hadn't. They were, in fact, every bit as fractured as the people that still live here. Most of them had left tracking escaped mystids. Some claimed to be researchers, others little more than hunters. All 5, completely useless to me.
Even your own parents?
Eventually, I returned to Tangle Tower. I had nowhere else to go. I considered giving up. But instead, I made a decision. There was only one person at Tangle Tower still of interest to me. My dear Uncle Pointer had suddenly made a show of taking up astronomy. A fairly superficial charade. I don't think many people were fooled by it. But I knew it wasn't just a falsehood.
仔细想，这个房子里面的人都在骗人。
Pointer had found something from the era of Mr. Mansion.
金甲虫。
So where did he get the beetle?
I cannot be sure. But I theorize that he received it in the post.
In the post? From who?
Who can say? Someone outside Tangle Tower. But the thought that he would be in contact with such a person, all that time, I decided to take what was owed to me.
So you stole it.
Stealing the beetle turned out to be only the first step. Upon realizing it was gone, Pointer made little effort to disguise his frustration. I asked what was bothering him. He foresaw no risk in sharing a little of the truth with his niece. He told me he'd lost a rare treasure, something he'd been keeping safe. I suggested, innocently, that perhaps it was not lost. Perhaps it had been stolen. He was very ready to believe he'd been the victim of theft. When I offered to call in a private detective, he jumped on the idea. She arrived the next day. Hawkshaw prides herself on her punctuality, as you know.
Why, though? Why go through all that? The name, the costume, and everything?
It's somewhat sad to admit, but I had little use left for Penny Pointer as she was. Hawkshaw afforded me new advantages, opportunities.
But didn't you have to pretend to be working for Professor Pointer?
Ah, well, that was one of the advantages. Pointer was in such a desperate state, he was finally willing to share some of his secrets. On the second day, Hawkshaw explained she needed to be able to search the secret laboratory. Pointer gave in and gave me the code for the harp statue. Reluctantly, but still.
So, you stole Pointer's research?
I would have done, if I'd found anything worth stealing. But he had made remarkably little progress, barely scratching the surface of the beetle's true mystery.
Which is?
It carries an exoskeleton approximately 90% identical to gold. But it's not the 90% I'm interested in. Did you ever question what exactly makes the water here so unique? Before Misted Mansion was built over the lake, before the lake was even Lord Remington and his wife built a small structure here, a research station, supposedly. Fast forward 2 or 3 generations, and as you saw for yourself, it's been mostly cleared out.
The ambassadors took everything when they left.
And everything they didn't take was burned in the incinerator. However, possessing additional insight, found something the others had missed. It's not much, but I have what I need.
So, why isn't this the end of the story? Why did you stay? Why did you kill Freya?
干大声。
Simply put, Freya was too good for me. It's my fault. I pushed her over the edge, unknowingly, but still, I take the blame.
What are you talking about?
Did you know I based the design for Hawkshaw on something Freya painted?
这个我知道。
That's right. I had assumed it was purely abstract. I just thought it had a good energy. I later discovered it was a figure of some kind, something from Freya's recurring nightmare. For all her vitality, I think Freya was probably the most troubled of all of us. She was desperate to leave Tangle Tower, but she couldn't just walk away. For quite some time, she'd been trying to break into Pointer's laboratory. Freya and her friends were halfway through deciphering those symbols on the harp statue, I believe.
Why did she care about getting into Pointer's lab?
That's exactly what I wondered. At first, I thought perhaps she just wanted to free the Beatles. She has a fondness for them. What Pointer was doing upset her significantly. But in fact, I think it was something else. I think she wanted to free Fiona. The real reason Freya was unable to leave Tangle Tower is that she could not get Fiona to agree to come with her. We're now firmly in the realm of speculation, but I think Freya felt that exposing the darker secrets of Tangle Tower, not just to the rest of the family, but to the world, would compromise all three families, and perhaps, somehow, free Fiona from the shackles of her inheritance. That was her plan anyway, but something happened before Freya could find her way into Pointer's laboratory.
She found her way into your study, found your notes, found that photograph. I'm willing to bet she put it all together quicker than we did.
So she worked out what had happened to the 5 ambassadors. Specifically, what you'd done to them when they refused to help you.
Freya had made a promise to paint Flora as a birthday gift, a parting gift no less. She'd be in a locked room, several hours away from her friends. It was my best chance.
But why hide in the attic? And why bother with the beetle at all?
The beetle in the gramophone wasn't for Freya. It was for Flora. She didn't deserve to be involved. She suffered enough. I couldn't get Flora out of the room, but if she could be unconscious, then she wouldn't have to witness anything.
Why the knife? The illusion of the painted knife with the blood.
That was for Fiona. And Poppy too, I suppose. Gave them something to focus on.
You mean it distracted them while you made your escape?
It helped them cope. The very idea of something abstract, something supernatural. I believe it made things marginally less painful for them, initially.
哦，他想要借由就是感觉超自然的东西，去让他们觉得是这样。
So why are you still here? Why not take your first chance and leave?
Ah, well, I've been waiting for an opportunity to get my beetle back. I'd really rather not leave without it.
Wait, it's still here?
It's still inside the gramophone.
Oh. 干你娘嘞！
What's going on?
Poppy, they are both awake.
I can see.
You two all right?
My head hurts. What happened to us?
You were both unconscious. 14 minutes by my count.
Really?
You're both fine. No injuries.
Was it the beetle? In the gramophone? I heard it through the ceiling in my room.
The exact same sound we heard before the murder.
I guess it must have been.
So how did we get down here? What happened to Penny?
Fits it both of you, obviously.
When I reached Flora's tower, you were both unconscious, and Penny was crouched down beside you. She had her crossbow on her, but who knows? She may have just been checking you were both asleep.
Did you know that she was the murderer?
Poppy and Fifi suspected her. Apparently, they were pretty close to solving it themselves.
Fitz did not want to believe us, because he liked Penny. A lot.
But what happened? Fitz, what did she do when she saw you?
She jumped out the window.
What? Did she survive?
She did.
I heard something land in the garden outside my room, but by the time I got out there to check, she was already gone.
Hang on. Poppy, why do you have Penny's hat bird?
She left him behind. I found him sitting on the floor in the aviary, all by himself. Poor little thing. The mean lady didn't care about you at all, did she? No, she didn't.
I apologize. Poppy seems to be under the illusion that the bird can understand human language.
So, Penny got away.
I'm afraid she did.
We had suspected she might try to escape. I was stationed here by the lake's edge. I proved to be an ineffective guard. She took the boat.
Did she take the beetle with her?
Nope.
How do you know?
Because it's right here.
It was still in the gramophone. I guess I scared her off before she had a chance to take it.
Poppy, what are you going to do with it?
Yes.
Are you going to give it back to your father?
No, I'm not. It doesn't belong to anyone. So, I'm going to put it on the ground and never bother it again. I think that's what she would have wanted.
那个窗是蟑螂的。是不错啦，哎咻，反正他们那个声优这样子，应该说配音员这样配一配，其实你也分不太清楚哈莎跟那个 Penny 的声音是一样的。这里蛮合理的啊。谜解开啦，只是没抓到犯人而已啊，对吧？谜解开啦，就事实上证明就是那个人搞的嘛。那个我们刚刚说有问题的那个花，真相都全部解开啊，他都解释的很好啊。Fiona 不是 Fiona 那个啦 ，Penny 啦。他什么都有解到啊，就是凶手不是就是他吗？然后他把他假扮，然后他教授的那个甲虫掉了嘛，然后就是为了要走进这个事情的更核心，所以就假扮成侦探啊。那你要说这个结局到底好不好？我觉得就见仁见智吧。就至少他每一个那个都有解释到啊，包括什么裂开的东西为什么会裂开啊，然后跟调色盘为什么没用到黄色啊。然后还有你要讲话就是这个卡带蛮莫名其妙的，不过这个卡带的存在目的只是为了要解谜，就是这个竖琴雕像。其他每一样物品都有它的存在意义啊，除了这个果树盆栽这个，可是盆栽花也很明显的看得出来，就是 Penny 很不喜欢面对它，就是也没有到真的对它很上心。这个我就。这个我就不知道，是要干嘛的？就这个感觉是要让我去误导的。 那也没啦，都解完了。就蛮多首歌的。那像那边 Fiona 呢 ？Fiona 是 Fifi 呀、啊、，Fifi 是这一只吧？哎，不对不对不对，老头也没说。就原本他想要带着 Fiona 跑走啊，弗雷亚要带 Fiona 跑走，然后后来他不愿意嘛，所以他帮他画了这幅画。那画一画就殊不知就马上碰到这些事情，就是他跑过去把这两个震晕之后，然后把他干掉。好啦，就是可以理解，但是不能那个，结局稍显无聊了一点，也不是无聊，就是没那么有趣。